I got a vision you don't understand, and you can get missing. I won't let you ruin my tribe with division. I'm taking aim and I shoot with precision. I'm really the girl that these girls wanna be. So naturally feminine, but still a G. Where she get her vibe, she stole it from me. Where she get her, but I'm never tripping, you know how I do. I'm glad I could sprinkle some game on you, boo. I just let souls flow through me like water. Stunning these boys and these girls are my daughter. Tonight we have a multifaceted queen with multiple talents and names. TT, aka Greenleaf of Beautiful Vibes and Seasons Dynasty, creates vegan and non-vegan meals with and without cannabis. And when she graces the mic to do her poetry and covers, she goes by the name Miss Ashe G. Cool. She is a mother and an alchemist, shifting energies in the room when she enters. From her loving energy and her warm greetings to her flavorful writing skills, combined with her sometimes soft, sometimes hard delivery, she is a true artist and creator. Thank you for joining us, TT.
Great energy and vibrations. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's better now that you're here.
Likewise.
So I always like to do a proper introduction, but nobody can describe you better than you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is TT / Greenleaf / Miss Ashe G. Cool?
Okay, so TT is actually my inner child, because that's the name that I was called when I was younger. Greenleaf is the activation of higher self. And Miss Ashe G. Cool is my higher self in higher form, you know. So,
yes,
yeah.
I love that. It's we just finished talking about like holistic, and I feel like that's a very holistic perspective, encompassing like the little girl and then activating your higher self and then being in that higher self.
Right, I agree.
The first time I met you, I believe, was at Mars and Sheen's Cope and Craft event, and the energy that I got from you was just so pleasant, so calming, so welcoming. Love is the word that I would use to describe it. Excuse me. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show. So the next question I want to ask you is, who is G Gang and what is Taka? If y'all are not familiar with this queen, these are some terms that I heard you use pretty often. So could you break that down for the viewers?
So G Gang is actually your higher self. Anything that actually have to arise with your inner self, your spiritual self, and gang, and also the people in the physical that is there, that is showing up for you in that love and support energy as well. So internal and outside as well.
Okay.
And Taka means balance. So Taka.
I love it. That's why. Well, I got Libra. Like my sun sign is Aquarius, and then the other two are Libra. And I'm like, okay, that's why I love saying Taka, because it's just like balance.
No, it is. I don't even know when I came up with it, but I know I was just saying it out of the blue, and I was like, this have to have a meaning, so what do it mean? And I started just reflecting on what was going on in my life, and I was like, oh, that's easy. It's balance, you know, and I just put a 3 at the end because I'm a life path 3, so yeah, balance.
I'm a life path 8. If y'all into that, let me know in the comments, what's your life path?
Yeah.
So another question I wanted to ask you, can you tell us about Beautiful Vibes and Seasons Dynasty? What is it about? How did it come about?
Beautiful Vibes and Seasons Dynasty is my baby. That is my creation. I make vegan and non-vegan dishes, and I actually started off just making regular food. But if you want to start all the way over to the original part of Beautiful Vibes and Seasons, I make cocktails, and I'm really good at mixing cocktails up. So I was like, I want to do comedy. I had like my backyard. My house was really big, so I was going to use my backyard to decorate. It was going to be beautiful because I'm beautiful, a vibe in any season, and then I could decorate really well too. And I was going to decorate, and it'll be like any season, you know, like to that nature. So that's how really Beautiful Vibes and Seasons came about, and that's what Beautiful Vibes and Seasons is. That's my brand of with my food and my dishes and my cocktails.
That's dope. I love that. I can't wait to try something.
Yes.
I watched your interview on. Can you remind me what the podcast was called? I just watched it like a couple nights ago. It was. I can't think of his name, but he was a great host. I love the way that he kept the vibes flowing, and it was just like a real genuine exchange. And you talked about like the backstory of Beautiful Vibes and Seasons Dynasty.
Okay.
So that was if y'all want to know more about it, I'll definitely link that in the bio so y'all can go check out that one too, because y'all know we love to plug other creators as well. But with that being said, could you talk about your connection with God? I feel like, I'm sorry, just to give a little I feel like God is everything, essentially. All is all is something I like to say, and a lot of people might not view it the same, but I love to talk to melanated women who also have maybe non-mainstream perspective on it. So could you tell us about your relationship with God?
Oh yes, I love to talk about God. I talk about God 24/7, and when I get the opportunity, I love to just run my love for God. But God is you. God is the breath that you are able to breathe, the feeling that you're able to feel, and emotion that you're able to continue to create. So if you're able to breathe, then you're able to connect with God. And I want people to always know that and remember that, because a lot of times we take breath for granted and we take God for granted. But if you can breathe, you're really not taking it for granted, because you know you really need that fresh air breath. You know, so you just probably need somebody just to come and talk to you about that, so you can remember who you are. And that's a part of you being a God too, is remembering who you are. You know, be authentic and just be connected to yourself, and yourself is God. You know, and if you can truly be connected with yourself, you could be connected with God, because you are a God.
Ashe.
Ashe.
I definitely support that and believe that wholeheartedly. Excuse me. How important has community been for you on your journey?
Community is very important, because I am my own community, for real. I'm very family oriented, so me coming outside is like me being naked, like really outside by myself. And as I come around to different parts, it's like me putting on clothes, you know, because this is me not being naked anymore, but being a part of something. But community is very important, because you need that to be able to get around, to flourish, to even to have grace with yourself. You know, it's good to have community. And I will always recommend community as well too. And even if you don't have a community, be the community for yourself, so you could be able to be a community for somebody else that may not have it. Because you only need one person to do something, and if you that one person and you be that, then you can put that energy and that frequency out, and that can create another person to be a community. Then you have two people that is a community. You know, like it take one to be one, to add another one to something else,
and it just keeps on growing.
Yeah.
I love that. Back to what you said about God and God being everything and within everything. With that being not a popular opinion or a mainstream opinion, how has navigating through life with that belief been for you? Like, could you talk about any challenges that you've experienced, and what advice would you give to others who have the same beliefs and may not be able to live out loud with them beliefs?
I would say, because I started writing like my own book to that nature, and my first part on there is like, rule number 1 is shut the fuck up. Only speak to those who are willing to listen. because sometimes we will want to like communicate, and everybody is not in that energy to communicate with you or even understand what you are speaking, and so you don't get corrupted inside of their peace of mind that do not align with yours. Just be quiet. You know, you don't have to push it out to anyone. Just know what you know within yourself and keep it pushing. And when someone is coming to willing to listen, trust me, you're going to know, because it's going to align together. So even if you're having troubles, don't push it on to no one. Just keep it, to yourself, but express it. Don't hold it back. Like, so express yourself, but don't go out just trying to force it on anybody, because you don't want it to backfire on you. You know what I'm saying? So in due time, just take your time, and who is needed to listen will come around.
Absolutely. From that, I took trust yourself to deal with your own emotions, and that led me to journaling. That's one of the ways that I like to express myself, and that's one of the ways that I like to help other women get to know themselves. But I know writing is not like, a lot of people don't write. So what is your experience with writing? Are you an avid journaler or not so much?
I can write just as much as I talk. I can write, but just as much as I can write, I can not write as well too, because sometimes it get challenging. You can't really, I don't want to say that you can't write what you thinking, but you have to be mindful of the things that you write down. So
it's a common theme,
right, in your mind that you like, hold on, I can't really put that out there on that piece of paper. So I feel like just take your time. I take my time, because I could go a while without writing, but when spirit tells me like, yo, no, this is what you need to do, get there and write it, then I'm writing, because I am number one obedient. Top thing, obedient at my abundant best that I can be. So I definitely listen to higher self, to spirit. So yeah.
Y'all gonna make me make journals with the locks on it.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, because I do right, but at the same token, my world has shifted very seriously for me, so it's hard. I record myself more now. I see myself that I record myself more, because that's another way, because sometimes it just comes straight out. I don't have time to write it down on a piece of paper because it's blurring straight out. So, and the first thing I have is the phone near me. So I just record myself now a whole lot of time.
You just taught me something about myself, which, like, recording is harder for me. Like, it's easy for me to write, but as soon as I put that camera on, I'll be like, I can't say this.
Yeah, listen, you might have to, though, because I don't like being upset, but I am learning and walking into knowing that my upsetness is valid, and it's a part of your journey. You have to be upset sometimes, because that is the fire fueling you to what you need to do next. You know what I'm saying? Don't self-destruct, and don't go out destructing anyone else. However, stand in your purpose of all your emotions, and it's okay. So when I turn that video on, I'm like going in. I done said a lot of things on my phone that I ain't never think I would ever say, and it feel good. I just listened to something the other day by accident. I didn't even know that I recorded myself. And I just was like, I prayed for myself in that moment. Like, I'm proud of you for being here to be able to even listen to that. Because it was painful to listen to. But it felt good that I was able to get that out and express myself, and know that I am valid. All my emotions are valid. And all of our emotions are valid, too. So remember that.
Absolutely. I always like to think, like you said, I don't like conflict, and I don't like to be upset. So my coping mechanism is to feel my emotions, but as quickly as possible, feel something else besides like anger. So whether it's empathy, forgiveness, understanding, I like to go there first. But I also realize that anger is the fuel for change.
Yeah.
So if you don't get mad, then you ain't really going to change nothing.
Right, because you got to remember what is making you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially if you know you don't feel these ways anyway. So if you're feeling that way, you have to tackle it, because if you don't like feeling that way, you're going to try to be like, oh, well, that's fine. And it's not fine, because you need to know why you're feeling that way. So the sooner you get to the bottom of that, the sooner you can make that change, like you just said, because it ain't nothing but allowing you to know that something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to get attended to ASAP.
Facts. Absolute facts. Nothing but gems so far. I'm super excited for this interview to come out and everybody to really see, not that y'all haven't, but like in this realm, in this aspect, really see what TT is bringing, what Maya Keeyana is bringing. So that's why I'm super excited for this whole series. But I wanted to touch on something else that you said, and that was being proud of yourself. I feel like as melanated women, we don't take the time to just sit back and honor all of the things that we've done, we've been through, even from a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. Like I was just talking about on my live yesterday, all of the things that we go through from the moment you wake up just to the moment you go to sleep. And especially if you have kids on top of that, I can't imagine. So can you touch on that? Like, what is the importance of giving yourself that notoriety, that gratitude?
Yeah, just having grace. And I'm doing that because I'm not going to say that I never gave myself grace, but I never gave myself the high standard of the grace, because it's levels to this. You put work in, you have to remember that you have to carry yourself at a higher perspective of the work that you put in for God, you know, like, and we don't really accommodate ourselves like that. We be like, oh, well, we did this and that is enough. It's not enough, you know, like, I feel like I am a full-time God student of God's world, you know, so I need to treat myself like that. And when I don't treat myself like that, I lack my own boundaries. So it's like, no. You need to make sure you get that massage. You need to make sure you go get your nails and your hair done. You need to make sure you go, if you have a therapist, talk to your therapist. These things need to be a continuous thing. If you are working out, I love to dance, you know, so I am in a dance class, you know, now for exercise, whichever way. I make sure that I am staying consistent to that, because these are the things that keep me motivated, so I can be able to be open to God, to hear God in whatever form and way that God needs to talk to me. So I think it's very important to celebrate yourself in every aspect, even when you wake up. And that's something that I am doing, like, only for today. What are you celebrating today when you wake up? Because you need to celebrate it, because you don't even know what's going to happen. And we deal with good and bad every single day. You know, it's just on a level of how bad or good it hits your feelings. You know what I'm saying? So celebrating yourself is very necessary. And I want to say, hug yourself. Hug the trees, because that's a part of yourself too. And speak grace over yourself, over your name, over your peace, because that is a celebration in itself too. Speaking those great words, even if you're not able to get yourself out where you might want to be at. Because I wanted to do something really bad, and I was like, I know I could do it. But at the same token, like, I just got finished doing all this other great stuff, and it's like, you have to celebrate those little things that's big things, you know, right now, not go jump to the next thing. Like, when God say that is the next step, then you do that. He showed you a vision. Don't mean that is now. Right now. You know, so celebrate what you already accomplished, you know. And I'm like, all right, you know, and I got that. Like, I was sitting down eating watermelons this morning, like crying, like, all right, I hear you, God. I hear you, like, but I'm grateful that I was able to hear that clarity and to hear God say celebrate what you already have succeeded in, you know, because we don't do that. And you need to celebrate every part of yourself, because it will make you feel better even when you're down. It will make you feel better.
Yeah, it will instill that sense of self-love and that motivation to keep going to the next thing.
Yeah, because nobody's not going to love you like you.
Right. Listen, y'all, we got some queens on this what is this series, this interview series, like tap in. I'm just soaking it all up, like the energy that I'm getting from everybody that has sat in this chair is just amazing. Okay, so yeah. When did you first see the importance of keeping God first, and how has this impacted your life?
I want to say maybe 2021 coming to 2022.
Okay.
I had like a life experience, and God like literally showed me the protection, like in form of my eyes, and I was like, no, I didn't do that, like. God did that for me, and when I seen that God moved me like that, I was just like, for now on, I have to make sure I go to God for everything. It ain't nothing that I should not be going to God for, because God is the only one that can save me, because God was the only one that could have saved me, and that did save me at that moment. And I was there, I was present, and I was able to see it, and I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. It makes me want to talk about God more, because I was so present in the moment that I was like, nobody can't tell me nothing. That was all God right there. So I want to say that experience itself allowed me to just be like, yo, it ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. God. Everything is God. You better talk about God 24/7. So
it's a duty.
It's a duty at this point, right?
Okay, and that leads into my next question. I forget where, I think it was on a podcast that I was representing earlier, where I learned that you were getting out of like a 10-year relationship. So if you don't mind talking about that, how are you caring for yourself, and any advice for women going through a similar situation?
Oh my goodness. I want to say once again, put God first. Just put God first, because love is so pure. And when I say love is so pure, it's so raw. So when you come to rawness, you get nothing that is like, it's just authentic. So love is painful. Love is heightened, and love can eat you alive, and it can kill you, so you have to be prepared to know that love is these things, but ultimately know that love is peace. So always have peace with yourself and have peace with love, knowing that love is always here to care and nurture you through the pain. So always pick God first and love yourself. And always find things that's going to keep you moving, and like move your body. I want to say always move your body, because the woman body gets so stiff when it's not loved and not taken care of. And it should be taken care of. It should be grace, like the most beautiful thing on this world. It is. You know what I'm saying? So just coming out of that relationship, I just never even thought that it would ever break. I never even in my life thought that we would ever break up. So knowing that in itself is like just growing within God, because at this point I have no choice but to trust in God, because I'm like, God gave me this, so why would you take this away? But ultimately, once again, reverse that same question that I just asked. If God gave it to me, God can take it away from me as well too. So just being fine with that, but just pouring love back into myself, and never forgetting myself neither. And I want to just let everybody know, never forget about yourself neither. Because we all feel like we're pouring in love into each other. If you ever ask a couple that broke up, they're like, well, I did this and I did that. But as you can hear, it's a balance of each other feeling the same exact way. So always continue to love yourself, no matter what the situation is, the best way possible. Because love is really is attaching. So you want to always love as much as you can, but you have to know that you're not supposed to attach to anything or anyone ever.
Right.
So.
Okay, I love that. And maybe going off of what you said, I believe that everything happens for a reason. So maybe that was like a reminder of what you just said. Like, you can't love anything more than yourself.
That part.
So that could serve as like a
No, it is.
helping you get reconnected with self.
And it did too. Yeah, I wouldn't be here, literally, if I wouldn't even have been broken up, and that's all reality. I would not have been here. We wouldn't even be talking about. Nobody wouldn't even have known who TT is, who Greenleaf is.
Wow.
Or near alone, Miss Ashe. Like, I'm so serious.
It was almost inevitable.
Seriously, and that's what breaks my heart the most sometimes when I think about it, because it's like, is this, did it take for this to happen? So it's like, who would you choose?
Right. Oh my God, I'm about to get emotional.
Right, and it wasn't nothing bad. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, so once again, who will you choose? Right. And the question better be, who?
You.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Wow.
Man.